Logan Paul is silencing Dillon Danis, and so is Misfits, really. I mean, everybody is threatening Dillon Danis to stop talking about Logan Paul ahead of their fight, and it's causing a massive problem for me, especially as a fight fan who have seen the worst of the worst beefs, and I'm going to be breaking down what's going on. But before we get into everything else, I want to remind you guys to hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. We're trying to hit 20K by the end of the year. If you guys could just help me out with that goal, I would very much appreciate it. But I want to talk about Logan Paul versus Dillon Danis. Now, if you guys will recall, earlier in the week, I made a video about Logan Paul versus Dillon Danis being announced, breaking down the matchup, giving my prediction. If you guys want to go check that out, I'll put it on the screen, and I'll also probably leave it at the end of the video. But essentially, I did say that this would be an interesting matchup simply because, look, Logan has not won a fight, alright? I know there's a preconceived notion that Logan is going to be a good boxer because Jake is. That's not necessarily true. He hasn't won a fight. The guy has a lot of trouble pulling the trigger in these fights. He's usually very jab heavy, not throwing the right hand. And I think there's a scenario if Dillon Danis could really pressure Logan Paul, he could win this fight, especially with the clinch and everything like that. However, I don't think that is going to happen. I did pick Logan Paul, but yeah, that's just to summarize the video. But since then, a lot of stuff has happened. Namely, Dillon Danis has now been talking a lot of shit about Logan Paul and his fiance. Now, Dillon Danis, for those of you guys that might not even know who he is, because I know a lot of YouTubers might be watching this video, or people that just support YouTube boxing, he's an MMA fighter. He fought in Bellator, but most notably, he is the training partner of Conor McGregor. Now, as we learned from Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul, a black belt in jiu-jitsu doesn't automatically equal you doing great in boxing. Of course not. That's a grappling sport. This is a striking sport. It's going to be very different. So that is definitely something to consider going into the matchup, but I want to talk about what has he been saying. Now, I like this matchup a lot also because there is a lot of beef behind it. As I mentioned in my other video, they've had beef since 2019. You can imagine that the back and forth on Twitter would be a lot. Logan hasn't really said anything to Dillon Danis on Twitter, I guess trying to ignore him, trying to basically no-sell him into being like, hey, I'm too cool to even notice you. That's obviously the vibe he's going for. Kind of like what Conor McGregor does to Jake Paul.
Wanting to see me fail for literally like fucking nothing.
But yeah, Dillon Danis has posted a lot, from posting pictures of Logan Paul's fiance with other guys to even pictures of her naked that she posted, I guess, a while ago. Like, Dillon Danis has been going off lately, and man, I kind of have to say I like it. You know, look, of course, bringing up girlfriends, like, that's foul. I'm gonna be honest, like, that is foul. And I understand Logan Paul getting annoyed by the whole situation because from his end, he's probably hearing from his own girlfriend complaints and seeing her upset. So I want to say I am sympathetic to Logan Paul, and I am sympathetic, of course, to his fiance. Now, after all these tweets, it seemed like Dillon Danis had stopped, but then he decided to post basically calling out Logan for silencing him. Now, this was very unclear to me. At first, I was like, is Misfits silencing him? Or is it Logan Paul himself? Well, according to a fan DM, now I can't verify if these are real. Did Logan Paul send you a cease and desist letter? Where Dillon Danis claims, yes, that Logan Paul did. Another thing I want to mention is that Dillon Danis isn't exactly the most reputable source, so just know everything in this video is according to the fan or Dillon Danis, so don't really put any blame on me. I'm not saying that this is true. Take it at your own word. And to me, I kind of believe it, guys. Listen, Logan Paul has a brand to uphold. He's a guy that's very much focused on the brand. I mean, with Prime, with WWE, the guy tries to be as market-friendly as possible. And you don't really want your brand tied to this dirty trash talk with Dillon Danis, talking about his girlfriend, and basically exposing his fiancée for being with every other celebrity in Hollywood. Dillon Danis went on to tweet, apparently Misfits is censoring me, saying I went too far and threatening to pull the fight. What the fuck? This is a ruthless game, kid. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Dillon also said, I will make that walk October 14th 100%. If anything happens to me this fight, you all know why. He also posted a fake mugshot of himself saying, got booked today for bullying Logan Paul at 28 years old, man. Goes on to say, I wish I could provide more entertainment for all of you. I love doing what I do, but my hands are tied in this situation. The fight is at a critical point. Dillon also says, I got so much ammo ready to go. This shit is so whack. Then a fan tweeted at Dillon saying, are they seriously censoring you? And Dillon says, yeah, or Logan is out. Now, obviously, this would suck to me. Of course, like I said, I have a lot of sympathy for Logan Paul, and that's why it is kind of a tough situation for me to judge Logan Paul for trying to censor Dillon Danis. Like, you guys have to understand, like, Logan is probably going to have to go home, you know, seeing this girl upset, not really probably used to so much spotlight. I mean, I don't even know who she is. Maybe she's famous in her own right, but now has this whole new group of eyes, probably getting trolled, probably getting sent DMs. It's probably upsetting her, so I kind of get it. However, at the same time, you have to accept that this is the fight game. Like Dillon said, and I hate agreeing with Dillon Danis, that this game is ruthless. I mean, we saw what McGregor and Khabib, their beef was crazy. I mean, it went from assault charges to arrest. Even Conor making fun of the wife of Khabib. Now, look, we could sit here all day and say, hey, that this is wrong. Nobody should be talking about family members. It should be to the fighters themselves and kumbaya, right? We could all say that, and personally, would I go tax someone's family if I were going into a fight? No. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it really even makes sense, nor would I really want that done to me, so obviously, I wouldn't really want to do that to someone. But at the end of the day, you have to accept these things, and it is such a bitch move, man. And I repeat, this is a bitch move from Logan Paul to send send a cease and desist letter. You can't do that. This is the fight game, man. Like, you guys are gonna go in there October 14th and punch each other in the head as hard as you can, hoping the other one gets brutally concussed in front of the world and knocked out cold. Yet you can't handle this guy talking shit about your fiance. That's the thing, guys. You have to understand is that I understand you can have sportsmanship when it comes to boxing, when it comes to MMA, when it comes to combat sports. But at the end of the day, Logan is going in there to hurt Dillon Danis to the max and to embarrass him in front of the world. Why should Dillon Danis feel bad for him? Like, why should he feel bad for what he posts about his fiance? Now, you can make an argument and say, hey, Dillon Danis should feel bad for his fiance, and to that I would agree, but it's such a bitch move from Logan Paul, man. At the end of the day, you guys are going to settle at October 14th, and he's going to look like a complete idiot if you knock him out in front of the world with all the shit that he was talking, and that's really all you need to do. And I know that this beef is serious. Apparently, there was a time where they met up in New York City, and Dillon's friend flashed a gun at Logan Paul. So this beef is pretty serious, and I just think Logan Paul is really acting like a bitch in this whole situation. This isn't the first time he sent a cease and desist letter. He did it recently to George Janko, a former podcast member of his podcast Impulsive, who is also one of Logan's best friends. George Janko himself said on another podcast that he can't even talk about Logan Paul because he also sent him a cease and desist letter.
I'm really not, they very much made it clear that I'm not allowed to speak up about things. So I can't even.
Legally?
Yeah.
Was this I didn't know that you guys were in a legal.
Well, he likes to tend to argue with me. I said, okay, then how about we discuss this, what you've guys done. Let's talk about this. And he goes, yeah, do it. And then I go, okay. And so I tweeted out, I wasn't going to talk out of respect for the man. So, and then his attorneys hit me up and said, hey, let me remind you about the stuff you've signed.
So this isn't foreign to Logan. And like I said, Logan's brand is the #1 thing that's important to him. He's going to try to uphold that brand by trying to avoid as much drama as possible with Dillon Danis, because this could get very ugly. This is just the beginning. I'm telling you guys that this is probably going to get really ugly, especially as we get closer to fight week and Dillon realizes, hey, they can't pull me off of this card. Like, apparently they're going to have a press conference for the whole Misfits card very soon, I guess, to, you know, promote ticket sales and things like that. Like, yeah, that's going to be rough, especially on stage. And I just, man, it's just such a bitch move, dude. Like, it's the fucking fight game, bro. I get it, you know, and maybe certain trash talk isn't for you. I'm gonna be honest, this kind of trash talk, I agree, is too far in my opinion. But I'm also not going to fight Dillon Danis, right? So I have a right to be like, hey, that this is annoying, like, I don't understand this is too far, blah, blah, blah. Logan's going in there to beat the shit out of him, dude. Like, how are we going to live in this fake world where it's like, hey, Logan is going to beat the shit out of him, that's okay, but him bringing up his fiance, Logan has a right to be mad about it? I don't know, man. Maybe that's just my opinion. I get it. Family members is where this kind of gets blurred. That is kind of the general line of trash talk when it comes to combat sports. Because at the end of the day, Dillon Danis isn't going to fight his fiance. He's going to fight Logan Paul. And to be honest, Dillon versus his fiance is a 50-50 fight. So maybe they should just go ahead and make that matchup. But maybe he should ask his best friend about bringing up girlfriends.
You got a new girlfriend now. Oh, Chloe Bennett. What's up, babes?
Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best fan base in MMA. Guys, let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. It honestly kind of angers me a little bit. I hate the censorship. This is the fight game. Dillon is trying to promote the fight. Last time they got mad because he didn't show up to the press conference, but now he's promoting this fight. Literally probably have posted 50 tweets since the fight got announced, sending shots at Logan Paul. Like, this fight is so hyped. At first, I was really nonchalant about the fight. I think you guys could tell. The first video, I was kind of flat, like, oh, you know, breaking it down. It is an interesting matchup, but man, this has gotten a lot better. A lot more heat. A lot more on the line. And yeah, so I'm excited for October 14th. Arguably could be the main event. Guys, thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best fan base in MMA. Let me know what you guys want to see next. Thank you guys for watching. You guys always support me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.